AITA for faking a work emergency to get out of a wedding? I, 28F, have been with my boyfriend, 29M, for about 8 months. Last weekend 2 friends of his were getting married. He's from Scotland and we live south of England, so I haven't met any of those friends yet. Originally, the wedding was in 2020 obviously. COVID postponed it, and then, due to a death in the groom's family, it only happened last Saturday. When the original invite went out, my BF was dating someone else for about 2 years, and he RSVP'd a +1. When the new date was decided, they didn't send new invites. Expensive. Just a text or email with the new date and time. When my boyfriend asked me to attend, I foolishly didn't think to ask if the bride knew I was coming because he assured me he had a +1. On Friday, we get to the pre-wedding reception, and when we get to the bride and groom, immediately I realize the issue. The bride is shocked my BF has brought someone. When my BF said he RSVP'd +1, the bride said yes, but that had been when you were dating X. We walk away, and suddenly I can hear the bride panicking saying, "We don't have the seats or the food," and she starts crying. I feel awful. She spent the next 2 hours crying in the corner, being consoled by her mo that she didn't need extra stress. The groom said it's fine but is obviously uncomfortable, so I faked a call and then came back and claimed a work emergency. Said I had to leave ASAP. I apologized to the groom and bride, who stopped crying enough to say it was lovely to meet me. I then got a taxi and a train home. When my boyfriend got back Monday, he asked me about the emergency, and I explained I had lied so the bride didn't have to stress about me being there. And he gets livid. He called me an asshole and said that not only did I leave him on his own all weekend, but all his friends thought I prioritized work over the wedding and that I made a horrible impression. I thought I was helping the situation by not being there and stressing out the wedding party. I said work emergency because for a family emergency my boyfriend would have felt obligated to come with me and I wanted him to stay and enjoy the wedding. AITA? Edit. Grammar and formatting. Apologizes typing on phone. NTA Your boyfriend however is in awe. He absolutely should have confirmed he still had a +1. A simple phone call would have saved everyone the grief. TBH I would have done the same as you given the bride was upset and knowing the stress that goes into planning a wedding. An unexpected guest throws out the seating and meals. It sounds like you did this out of kindness. To the couple, I get your BF doesn't like to be lied to. Maybe you could have told him what was up. But why is he so upset you left? You left him alone? The friends were upset you prioritized your work over a wedding of 2 people you'd just met? What now? You'd never have done it if they hadn't gone into a tailspin of worry over your presence. I'm going with NTA. You were trying to do the right thing. NTA. This was an incredibly kind act of yours. The amount of empathy you showed the bride is really lovely. Yes, she overreacted, but not at all uncommon the night before the wedding. Especially after so many delays due to COVID. You were also a bit between a rock and a hard place stay and the bride is having a meltdown or leave and not be there for your boyfriend. You made a very reasonable and decent decision at the time given they were his friends. The only thing I'm confused about is why you didn't tell your BF at the time what you were doing. NTA You clearly did an act of kindness, trying to reduce the stress of the bride. However, what the hell happened in the bride and groom's heads? Oh yeah, BF has a +1, it's fine, don't worry, we take care of this. Day of the wedding, wait, you actually have a +1 like you said you would? WTF? Quote. NTA. Frankly, I think this is all on the bride and groom. BF RSVP'd a +1. not specifically his girlfriend at the time. Lots of people get +1s without being in a specific long relationship. I think it's completely fair to assume he still had a +1 considering they never sent out new invites to indicate either way. Also, crying for 2 hours over this is way too much. I think you could have brought it up to your boyfriend that you were gonna do this. Then when talking to his friends he could be honest and make you look really thoughtful instead of looking like someone who prioritized work. But I don't think you are an asshole for it. NTA. You're a saint. His friends had no idea what kind of work emergency it was. I wonder if they even cared and it was just your BF that projected. You did a small bad thing to help the bride. If he had started name calling, I would say you could apologize for lying to him. NTA. Miscommunication is unfortunate, but not your fault. Really. Your BF and the groom should have clarified that months ago. Bride having that level of a meltdown over something they messed up themselves is mental to me. But weddings can be incredibly stressful events. So it is what it is. If I was in that same situation, you would have had to shackle me to the walls to stop me from leaving. The awkwardness and embarrassment would have just made me nope right out of there. If you had stayed, you'd be blamed for ruining the bride's perfect wedding. The fact that you did literally nothing wrong wouldn't have mattered. I think you came up with a reasonable lie to fix the situation. Could you have told your BF about it first? Maybe. It depends on how you think he would react. Considering how he lost the plot when he got home, I'd argue that you made the right choice as he would have just made things worse. Your BF wasn't so concerned about what impression you would make when he neglected to inform his friend that he was still bringing a +1. If his friends are judging you poorly over this, then they either are ignorant of the full context of the situation, or are just overly judgmental people. I do not like that your BF is putting this all on you when the fault lies squarely at his door. NTA. You were just trying to help. While there is better ways of doing this, e.g., it's okay. If there isn't room for me, we can celebrate together another time, or something. Your intentions were pure towards them. I can definitely understand how having your partner leave you for the weekend for a lie would be upsetting though. NTA. For him to be livid that you alleviated his great friend's distress at their wedding speaks volumes. So does the fact that he apparently seemed to have not told them of your existence. Otherwise they may have inferred you'd be there with him. Did he not tell them he's seriously dating someone for 8 months now? Had he never mentioned, we are looking forward to coming and Op is looking forward to meeting everyone? Yet you're so integral to his life he was mad you left a place you knew no one and he knew lots of people? Think less about this one event, and more about the entire relationship. Bride is ta. BF checked +1. And she didn't think to check in with him when she rescheduled. BF did everything right and bride didn't. You made the best choice you could given the circumstance you were in. Info. I understand you were just trying to help, but why wouldn't you think to communicate this little plan with your partner? Maybe he would have seen your side and you could have come up with a different story together. One that involved leaving him stranded alone an entire weekend when he obviously wanted you there. NTA. You were clearly unwelcome and your presence brought added stress to a drama queen bride. I wouldn't have even made up an excuse. NTA. You were just being considerate and sorry to say. But your boyfriend is overreacting. He should have been thankful to you for being so selfless and thinking about his friend's wife rather than yourself. Also, in no way would this have made an awful impression, because you weren't causing any harm. You just took a hint from the rude bride, might I add, and left. People saying you should have talked to your boyfriend Can't understand that he'd obviously say no. Maybe you should talk to your boyfriend about this because frankly, he seems like the Info. Why did you lie to your boyfriend and not just the bride and groom about why you had to leave? This is so weird. Why would this leave a bad impression? Yes, obviously you'd prioritize your job over the wedding of two strangers who can't even accommodate you. NTA. I think it's pretty generous of you to be honest. Defo NTA. Your boyfriend on the other hand. NTA. You did the right thing. You never wanted to stress the bride out. And clearly she was. I bet the next time you meet she will be grateful for what you did. UBF is the for not contacting the couple, but also saying that you made it seem to others that you were prioritizing work. Maybe they didn't see the bride crying? I think you were a class act. The way you handled it. NTA. But this is why open communication is important. You could have just told your boyfriend that it would be in your best interest to leave. Given the bride's reaction, the white lie was an attempt to manage everyone else's emotional state. But it came with the cost of everyone not fully acknowledging the reality of the situation. Super awkward and not your fault. But you probably shouldn't be intimate with someone that you didn't feel comfortable telling the truth to in that moment. Though it might not be a popular opinion here, your BF is in awe because he didn't stand up for you to his friends. Most likely I think he was complaining about what you did to them. So yeah, that would leave a bad impression. But it's his fault. He also is in awe because he didn't communicate to the bride and groom that he had a new +1. I would have been pissed about the situation he put you in. You show up and the bride is like, who the hell is this? That's on him. Bride and groom suck because they assumed that your BF no longer had a +1 to the wedding since he was no longer with his ex. They probably found out about the breakup. And I wonder if they found out about your relationship with him? If they had known, the right thing to do would have been to confirm with your BF. Groom had an appropriate reaction to you being there. Bride is overreacting a bit. Catering never makes just enough for a specific guest count. And if they did, then they are a bad catering company. Or whomever was in charge of food. You're a soft cause even though the intention was good to de-escalate the situation. You should have communicated with UBF instead of making the decision yourself. At this point, the unselfish thing to do would have been to talk to your BF and explain how you felt about what was happening. You both could have then come to a decision. Ultimately this all comes down to no communication and everyone assuming. So again NTA. Wow, people are torn over this. You did a good thing. You let everyone save face. Boyfriend's ignorance no longer causes a huge issue for his friend's wedding. Bride and groom don't have to weigh up the social cost of turning you away versus TJE financial cost of last-minute changes with the caterer and coordinator. The bad first impression was inevitable because your boyfriend is an idiot. A GF of 2 years and a GF of 8 months are two very different things when sending invites. He's an for going off at you. He could fix this very easily by telling his friends that you realized your attendance was causing the bride stress, so you faked the emergency to leave without making her feel bad.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.